Hi there, I'm Snake with Legs, and I have something really cool to show you. Sit down, chill out, get a coffee, get a drink, relax, and hear me out on this, okay? The sounds that words are made up of are arbitrary. So, like the word for cat, okay? There's nothing inherent about a cat that makes you go, oh yeah, cat, that's a cat. It doesn't, the words are disconnected. The words and the meaning are disconnected from the actual object. But with uh, languages like Hebrew, which is a magical language, with Hebrew, each letter makes up what the word means. And in that way, the meaning of the words are very connected to what that object actually is. Think of the chemical language, like H2O, all right? That's the word we use for water, right? But by looking at the word, you can actually tell what the water's made up of. H, hydrogen, 2, H2. Yeah, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, or maybe it's just 1 hydrogen, 2 I'm not a chemist, okay, but you get the idea. You can actually tell what the thing is made of by what its name is. In Hebrew, you look at words and they're all like that because each letter means something. And when you look at a word for like what is a human made of, or what does it mean to be a person, I have it written down somewhere, but it's like aleph, like the word for person. In Hebrew, it starts with aleph. Aleph is the letter that represents God or spirit, right? It's breath. It's the breath that God breathed in to Adam. It's that breath of life. All humans have that, is what they are. And all these words are like that. And that's what a magical language is. It's a language that has embedded meaning into it. So I want to show you the letters of tarot, the symbols for tarot, because they're all each tarot card has a letter of the Hebrew alphabet associated with it. But it's also not just letters. There's also planets and zodiac signs and elements that are attributed to it. So learning the Hebrew alphabet, you're actually learning at the same time deeper meanings about the nature of reality. By cracking into it, by opening this code, you're unraveling the meaning. That's the thing. It's not just confined to this language, it's everything. It's in everything. So, by understanding this language, you'll be able to interpret movies on a deeper level because you are existing at a deeper level. And when you exist at a deeper level, you interpret things at a deeper level because you are the filter for reality. The languages we use, those languages are like the packaging. We take an idea, we fit it into a package, and then our brain runs with that thing. And that's programming, basic programming. This stuff can be so confusing and really not make any sense. It really is difficult. But once you get it and it clicks, you're like, oh, that makes sense. I want you to see this thing that I see because I think it's amazing, and I think that looking at it, it's like a good video game. Or a good movie, a good TV show. You know, a good TV show, it has all these characters that are all different and they all like bounce off each other, and you watch and then you get to the end and you're like, "Oh my god, that was a good show. It all clicked." You know, there's still mystery, there's still things that are like not don't all fit together, but you still love it. You still love this good TV show. And that's what this whole thing, right? And it's on the cosmic scale, it's on the microcosmic scale because it's you, but it's the world. And when you get to see it all laid out like that, you're like, damn, that's pretty cool. So yeah, let's get into it, all right? I'm very excited to show you this stuff. So there's 22 of these, right? So we have Aleph, Beth, Gimel, Daleth, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ayin, Pe, Zadi, Quaf, Resh, Shin, and Talv. Okay, so each of these, oh, and then we have all the tarot cards on this side, right? Just with these, right? The meanings between these interact so much, and it's really beautiful, right? So let's take the devil, right? Now, people usually freak out about the tarot cards because they're like, oh, it has a devil. There's a devil card in a tower. It's scary. Even as a Christian, like the devil exists, you know? And I think personified evil is very much like a thing. It exists within the human mind and in reality. So if we're going to map out all the layers, you know, or forces of nature, we got to have this guy in here, okay? And then we have the tower. And I'm assuming you know a little bit about the tarot cards. I'm trying to introduce you to the Hebrew letters, and then we're going to do some astrological and elemental correspondences. But I just want to point this out, though, because it's really beautiful, right? The devil, right? This is Ayin. Ayin represents the eyes, or an eye. I think there's a correlation between the eyes and the devil. Look at this. This is Pe. This represents a mouth, like literally a mouth, right? And these all are very literal. Like Aleph is an ox, Beth is a house or a tent, Gimel is a camel, Daleth is a door, right? Hey is a window. You can see the little window right here, and Vav is a nail. But Pe is a mouth. And the tower, if you know, the tower is a very like destructive card. There's usually misfortune or something wrong, something falling apart. And what has the most power to do that, to cause things to fall apart? What it can be used as the most, like one of the most destructive forces. It's the mouth. You know, that's why you have to be careful with your words. Quaff represents the back of the head. It's things you can't see. And the tarot card for that is the moon. You see the tarot cards and you're like, okay, what does this mean? Right? And you see lovers, it's like, oh, obviously lovers. But to see the deeper meaning behind those, right? Because these are all English letters and these are all archetypes. But the actual thing that it's made of, it's layers upon layers of meaning. But when you connect it to a magical language like Hebrew, everything else opens up and the meanings open up. The moon, behind the head, things you can't see. And it's the things you can't see in life that will usually lead you astray or cause problems. You know, it's not what you do know, it's what you don't know. Tav, I'll pick on Tav for a minute. Tav is the world card, but Tav means mark or symbol, and specifically the cross. Cross is a mark. And what does the cross represent? It represents the 4 elements, right? Because there's 4 points, there's 4 directions. In the world, we have north, east, west, and south, right? That's the whole world right there. And it's the culmination of all these other things. It's the world. I think if you use your head, you can probably extrapolate a lot of other meanings with the cross. Hey, window, very important, because you're looking through a window. You're not seeing the real thing. You're just seeing a small portion of it. And on a even deeper level, this represents the first formation of an object, right? Because you have the top line, this line, and then with this line, you get a square, right? So we start with, in the Hebrew, we start with a yod, which is a point. So you can draw that as a point. And that's the first thing that exists. It's just a point, but there's no depth. There's no nothing to it. So you add a line and you get a vav, right? That's this. This is a hook. Vav connects above and below, which is why the tarot card is the Hierophant, because the Hierophant is like a priest, and priests represent this meeting point of divinity and the earth. It's that connection, right? And personally, I believe that we're all Hierophants. We're all priests and priestesses. You know, if we wake up to that and we realize that's what our position is, we're a connection of above and below. You know, let's bring it into the 3rd dimension. Or the second dimension, 2D. I suppose a line and a dot is just 1D, but that's 2D. And then we throw the 3rd line in there, and then you get a 3D shape. We see out of this 3D world, you know, and what can we see on the other side of that? Just something to think about, you know. I'm just trying to get you to open you up to the ideas, because I don't know everything, and I certainly don't have all this freaking memorized. It's a lot, but just understanding that there's more to a language. There's more to just lines on paper. There's magic here, but you need to bring it alive, because the magic is actually in you. A lot of you are digging into like astrological stuff. You're all about like, oh, what's my zodiac sign? You know, So let's get into that. Let's bring that into here and see what that does and what that can show us, right? Because it's not as simple as, oh, I'm a Gemini, I gossip, and I'm a two-faced bitch. Uh, but no. There's even the days of the week. Think about this. This is cool. The days of the week are named after planets. Monday, Moon Day, Saturday, Saturn Day, Sun Day, Sun. Like, come on, it's right there. Gregorian calendar's whack, let me tell you. But yeah, literally every day of the week has an astrological, like, planetary correspondence. Okay, interesting, fascinating. Let's get into that. All right, I'll show you. So right at the top, right? Okay, let's start with Aleph and the Fool. This has an elemental correspondence to air. This isn't your tarot air. This is the breath of life. Okay, this is fresh, clean, life-giving air. The Magus, this is actually one of my favorites because this is Wednesday. This is Mercury. And Mercury is a metal that is actually fluid. If you know something about the Greek gods, you know about the messenger god Hermes. He delivered messages. That's his thing, traveling. Quicksilver. That's a planetary correspondence. So if you ever get this card and you're wondering what the deeper root of it is, it's this. And it's also the house. To be a magician, to be a priestess, you need to be a house because you need to be a dwelling place for spirit. So that's the Magus. Next, Empress or High Priestess. That's actually the moon, funny enough. And you were probably thinking that was going to be way down here, the moon. It's not. High Priestess is the moon. If you have questions about specific cards, ask, because I can't go into everything. I'm just showing you basic correspondences and going on digressions where I over-explain everything. But I don't explain enough because there's a lot to it. So Empress, that's Venus. Right? Venus is actually Friday, Freya. There's a pagan goddess called Freya, and that's where we get the name Friday, or the word Friday. Empress is love. Everything to do with Venus is love and community, connection, and just off the top of my head, door. You need to open the door to those things. Or you can close doors and open doors, and that's what creates or stops relationships. So if you have your doors all closed, and that's literally me just looking at it and going, oh yeah, that's obvious. You don't need to be a magician to know all this stuff. Well, I mean, you do, but it's intuitive. Be intuitive. Emperor, this is interesting because this is Aries. Okay. Hierophant. Okay. One of my favorites because it's actually Taurus. Now, if we think about Taurus, we know Taurus is an earth sign. It's fixed earth. Going over here, what does Vav mean? It's our connection to divinity. And divinity connects to the earth. So it's Taurus. All right, that's the esoteric meaning of Taurus. If you're a Taurus and someone asks you what your sign means, you tell them that you are freaking expression of divine light. Okay, that's what you tell them. Because you are, and everyone has a little bit of Taurus in them. But if you're Taurus, you're extra special, and I appreciate you. Lovers, okay, lovers, sword, Gemini. Okay, and as much as I rag on Gemini is actually a very beautiful sign. A sword has two sides to it. A double-sided blade, okay? It's not all about being two-faced, It's not all about being two-faced. It's actually, the twins are more of a synthesis of two things. Two faces, but one head. Think about that. That's all I got for you for that one. Chariot, okay? This is, Chet. They actually relate, oddly enough, to Cancer, okay? Emotional strength, stability, and Chet actually represents a fence, oddly enough. And what do fences do? They protect. They set a boundary. And the chariot, the person riding the chariot is a warrior. Cancer is a very watery sign, but it's also a crab. Cancer represents a crab. And what do crabs have? They have shells. Soft on the inside, but their defenses are on the outside. So there's a protection in that symbol. It's not all tears and baby butt hurt feelings. It's actually much deeper than that. Tet. Tet is strength, and Tet actually represents a serpent. The serpent represents like concealment, okay? And strength, that's actually Leo. And if you know about the strength card has a lion on it. If you ever wonder why is there a lion on the strength card, it's because it's related to Leo, and Leo's a lion. Yod, very important, and it is connected to the Hermit and actually Virgo. And Virgo is another earth sign. And Yod is one of the most spiritual letters in the Hebrew alphabet. It is the smallest and it is the most spiritual. Think about that one. The hermit, he's on this this mountain. He has a lamp, and in the lamp there's a light, and it's this little, I think of it as this little piece of divinity that is that he's carrying. And he's a hermit because he doesn't really need anything else. He just needs that light. Virgo, it's like a seed planted in the dirt. The wheel, that's actually, because we're back with the planets, that's Jupiter, right? And it's the palm of the hand, which is kind of like a cup. And if you think about fortune and destiny and whatnot, there needs to be a vessel in order to receive, whether it's receiving for good or ill. And Jupiter's very giving. It's a giving planet. And I love Jupiter for that. Remembering, if you want to receive anything, you're going to need to keep an open hand. Be open to receiving. Anyway, justice. This is Lamed. If you've ever wondered why justice, they have a scale on the card, it's because theirs is represented by Libra. And Libra is all about balance and justice, finding a middle ground, especially in relationships. If you've ever wondered why Libras can be kind of obnoxious because they're always telling you what to do, it's because Lamed means ox goad, a guide. They're kind of like managers, and that's where they get it from. So if you're a Libra and you ever wondered why you have that tendency, it comes from this. And that's not a bad thing, because Libras tend to be very awesome people. I love Libras because they care about the other person. I think that's wonderful. Hangman, this is the second element, right? So hopefully you're noticing a pattern by now, right? We have the element air, then we have planets, then we have zodiac signs. Okay, and that's all of these. It's elements, planets, and zodiac signs. The hangman is water, and that's the sign for water. Mem literally means water, and it is the quality of water. I have stuff to say about this, but I'm not going to say it. If you have questions, ask, because there's a lot to go into that. Specifically with water, I'll just say, in the beginning, the Spirit of the Lord hovered above the waters of the deep, and that's what kind of water we're talking about. We're talking about the big water, the big deluge. Death, this is very interesting, right? Nun means fish, but its zodiac sign is Scorpio. And Scorpio, besides kind of being bitches sometimes, Scorpio represents rebirth and water. In death, there is a making way for new. Scorpio, God, I have so much to say about Scorpio, but we're going to have to skip over it. Just understand that this zodiac sign has 3 different freaking symbols to represent it. It has an eagle, it has a scorpion, and either a fish or a snake. But Jesus, there's a lot packed into this one. Or next, we have Temperance. And Temperance is with Samekh, and Samekh is a prop. Their sign is Sagittarius. Hopefully this will click some things in your brain, because Temperance, there's an upliftment element with Temperance, right? So Samekh, it's a prop, it's holding you up. Sagittarius actually is the sign of religion. And the thing with it is that religion, people honestly think of religion as a bad thing, but religion is meant to actually support you. The thing you're supposed to get from religion, and there's a dark side to community and to groups in general, cults, whatever, but there's something very powerful and beautiful about community. And Temperance has that as an aspect of it. It has that upliftment. There's a focus. And when your focus is tempered, because this sign, Sagittarius, is actually, it's an archer. What is it? A centaur? And he's holding a bow and arrow. And I can go into, there's this whole story That's actually, I believe it's a Hindu story, but it's about this archer and a teacher. How he shot the target is he didn't look at anything else. He didn't look at anything around him. He looked at the target and he focused on the target, not all the obstacles that were surrounding it, but he looked at the target. That's kind of what temperance means. It's actually looking at what you want. There's an aspect of upliftment, which is why the temperance card has an angel on it, and that angel, their foot is in this water, and that water is connected to intuition and to, I think, as like a connection to God. Water is a connection to God. God, I sound crazy saying that, but it's true, at least metaphorically or symbolically, like the waters of life. Anyway, temperance is the whole thing. The devil, God, I love the devil card. I say that ironically. The devil, again, eyes, devil, seeing things. Capricorn, let's talk about Capricorn. Let's hate on Capricorn for a minute, because I like to do that sometimes. Honestly, I could use a little more Capricorn in my life. I'm a water sign, so I generally need more earth. Capricorn is the cardinal aspect of earth, and Capricorn is very, like, for all you astrology buffs out there, Capricorn is very, like, work focused. They like to be praised for their work. Wanting to be praised for your work and what you do, that is very natural, and that's normal, and that's good. But if taken too far, it turns into pride. If you're prideful about what you do and who you are, there's going to be a fall in that, which makes a lot of sense because Tower is right after that. By connecting Capricorn with the devil, you can actually see the pride that Capricorn carries, and that maybe Capricorn is focused too much on what they see and not on what they know to be true or feel to be true. It's very materialistic. If you're not balanced, right? If you're not balanced, your personality's not balanced, let's say that, then you're going to have issues. The Tower, again, Pe is mouth, and what's a very destructive force? Your tongue, your mouth. And the Tower is actually related to, guess what? A planet. Yay! I love the planets. If you didn't guess that already, I love planets. The Tower, Mars, it's pretty simple. Mars is martial energy, so war, destruction, very masculine dude, bro. Too much of that all at once, right? You want to watch what you do with that, because that could cause problems. Zadi means teacher, but the symbol that they represent is a fishhook. I don't know why I have a hard time remembering that, but it's freaking fishhook. But it represents star too, the star card. And God, I love getting a star card for a reading. That's sometimes, I mean, when it's positively aspected. If it's not, then it's just kind of like, haha, you're not the star. And honestly, that's a lot of the time a good lesson to learn. But sometimes you need to recognize that you need to step up and be a star. And that's why the star card is represented by Aquarius. You might know them as innovative, forward-thinking learners, right? But Aquarius, they're very connected to community, to people. And in order to be a teacher, in order to be a part of a community, you need to be able to support other people. And if you're not the star, if you don't have anything to bring, then you're just going to be pulling on the people around you. You're not going to be uplifting others. In order to be the star, you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to give. You need to be able to shine so that other people are inspired to do what they know is right. The negative side of Aquarius is like, I'm going to tell everyone what to do. The positive side of Aquarius is I'm going to do what I know is right and what I'm inspired to do, and that will inspire others to do, to follow their path and to live their best life. Quaff, moon, yay, Pisces, woo! I'm going to redo that. I actually really like Pisces because there's a lot of good in Pisces, but it gets a bad rap, and I understand that because I know why that is. Again, the moon, quaff, back of head, you can't see it. It's something you're not seeing, and Pisces is a water sign. And their sign is actually two fishes with their tails connected. And this represents the yin yang, this balance of opposites, and it's actually the last of the zodiac signs. There's this, like, how I think of it is that all the other signs are in Pisces. Imagine like a big soup of water, and Pisces is like the yin yang push and pull between all the dualities in that, and it's this culmination, and it's also not quite the death. I wouldn't necessarily go that far. You could say death starts, at Capricorn or, at the death card, Scorpio, because Pisces is actually in the spring. And it's kind of like that time when things almost seem dead, but they're just germinating and they're getting ready to sprout and come back to life. And that's where we get the Aries, right? It's Pisces is potential. And there's so much potential in the unknown. Healing, honestly, like, personal experience, coming to grips with what you don't know and dealing with what you don't understand. There's so much to that, because you don't know what you don't know, and you might think you have the right answer, but there's always going to be something you miss. And that's why the moon card is associated with, illusions, deception, seeing things wrong. Yeah, moon card. Sun, that's Resh. I forgot what Resh represents. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. So if you have a question about what that means, I'll go through my books and I'll let you know. No, I wasn't just born knowing all this stuff. I had to actually read books. Go figure. Sun card, that is, you guessed it, the sun. Jesus Christ. No, the sun is the planet of the sun. Don't get me started on sun symbology. Jesus. I guess, no, I believe it's Osiris too, I suppose, is another sun deity, but Jesus is king and Jesus is better. Horus, or Osiris, jeez. Or maybe it is Horus. I don't know. There's other sun deities, but Jesus is king. Go Jesus. Planet Sun, though. Sun also relates to Leo. Sun is Sunday. If you live in a place where there's hardly any sun and then it gets the sun season, like for me, it's in summer. So when I really get to start seeing the sun, it's like, oh my God, it feels amazing. Jeez. Just take this as a reminder to touch grass. No, I'm just kidding. With the sun card, I'll tell you, here's a secret with the sun card. The sun card has a child on it riding a white horse, and they're carrying a flag that represents victory. But the important thing to see is that they're actually riding a horse, and the horse is white. And on the death card, the skeleton riding, what's the skeleton riding? It's a white horse. What does that freaking mean? It means that life, sun, and death are polarities of the same force. Because the child riding that white horse, they didn't just conquer a city. And maybe they did, but it's kind of like, David in the Bible, how he killed Goliath. It's kind of like that idea, even if you're not that powerful yourself, even if you're not, if you don't feel capable to do what you want to do or what you need to do, there's a higher force that's carrying you through life, and you might not recognize it or see it, but it is in your life. Just like the sun is out there, you might not think that the sun's that important, but all the food you eat needs sun to grow. So every time you eat food, you're literally eating or benefiting from the sun, and I think that's important. Judgment is tooth. Okay, Judgment was also a very kind of a difficult card for me to put together in my head, because I was like, what's that mean? Shin is very important. Shin represents tooth, but it also represents fire. And what's fire? A destructive force. Okay, just like me. And teeth are destructive too. You use teeth to chew on things. And that's kind of what judgment can be like. But don't forget that judgment is, and fire, it's purifying. And there's something, because now that we're almost done, right, I want to show you this, right, because it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it's interesting. I'll put a pin in this one, judgment, right? The world, Tav, guess what it represents? Guess. Come on. Guess, guys. What is it? Leave a comment. Let me know what it's going to be. Okay, you left a comment. You know what it is. What's your guess? It's Saturn. Yes, I freaking Saturn. Love Saturn. Saturn's great. But what's on Saturn? It's a cross. Oh my gosh. And what's on the cross? Leo. Oh my gosh. What's Leo correlate? The sun. What's on the cross? The sun. Okay. That's it. That's no. Okay. In all seriousness, that's all very true. But Saturn, more simplistic, kind of mundane explanation. Saturn represents, it's kind of like everything's solid. Everything solid in the earth. It's bones. Your bone structure is related to Saturn because that's what holds up your meat suit, is your bones. Saturn is about boundaries, restriction, and if you know Kabbalah, it's the third Sephiroth. And what does a triangle do? It creates structure, kind of like what we were talking about with hay. You know, you need three points to make a shape. You know, otherwise you just got lines and zigzags. But to make an actual shape, you need 3 points. Okay, so that's what Saturn is. Saturn's the triangle. Yeah. Okay. Look. So just gaze upon the beauty, the magnificence of such a thing. To behold true knowledge. Okay. I'm being a little facetious. Okay, but I am serious. This is why I study this stuff, because it's absolutely fascinating and beautiful. We have the 3 elements, right? So we have air, that's one. Then we have another element, fire. Then we have water. And there's something we can learn through that, because where's earth? Where's the earth? Normally earth is drawn like that. It's like water, but with a line through it. But earth isn't on here. And that's because earth is made up of the 3 other elements. And that's Kabbalah 101, okay? Fire, water, air are the primal elements of existence. Earth, you know, Taurus, again, beautiful. It's connected to Vav. Or it is this connection to divinity. Temperance, this upliftment, the sun, this higher force. But the elements of the world are not, it's not earth, it's what earth is made of. Hopefully you understand how profound that is, because we normally think of earth as being all there is. And in this system, you can see that earth is all there is, because all there is earth. I don't know how to explain that without making more sense. I'll sure try though. So if you want to like ask me what I like elaborate on that, I can definitely do that. But like, hopefully you understand what that means. That we think of earth as like, oh yeah, there's just material. It's just material, but it's material because of what it is made of, you know. I won't rant too much on that. I just think that's amazing, because I was like, okay, there's 4 tarot suits. Where's Earth? And it really annoyed me, actually, that there wasn't like the Earth. I was like, oh, that's frustrating, because I learned it as 4 elements and the 5th is spirit. But it's actually just 3 elements, and Earth it's the composite of all of them. The planets, Mercury, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, Sun, and Saturn, those are more related to our like the forces within us, right? So that sun I was talking about, that's within you. That's an aspect of you. Your ability to love and connect with others, that's within you. The magician, this ability to communicate, to be a dwelling house for spirit and to express it. That's what being an artist is. Okay, it's expressing what's within you and what you want to communicate to either yourself or others. And you might say, well, what? Because a lot of people say this, a lot of artists are like, I make art for myself. It's like, if you make art for yourself, you're communicating with yourself. Isn't that kind of schizophrenic? Some people harp on me for talking to myself, but it really is a different experience to say something out loud. You know, even if it is to yourself, you're like, if I'm thinking it, why would I need to say it? Singing. That's what I was thinking of. It's like, why sing? You know, if there's no one to hear the song, it's because you're hearing it, but like you're the one making it. So I don't know. Those are the planets. Jupiter, this giving aspect, this ability to give. The opposite to that would be Mars, this ability to take away or to destroy. Okay. Next, all the zodiac signs. All the signs of the seasons are here. There's just so much. And it's all in 22 letters. So like this is all like elements, planets, signs, seasons, and then there's like, you know, all these cards, and then we have the Hebrew alphabet. And this is why Hebrew is a magical language, is because it has all of this packed into it. And so when you spell a word in Hebrew, you're expressing parts of these and how these relate to each other, because you can't just have justice by itself. You can't just have water by itself. It's all connected. When we talk about death, at the same time we're talking about life and what it means to be alive. When we're talking about judgment, we're not just talking about judgment, we're talking about the right thing, justice. Judgment without justice, without mercy, without compassion, without love. Any one of these taken by itself is unbalanced and not very useful. Even Aleph, and Aleph is like the breath of life, it's God. And that's what ox means, or why it's an ox is because it's the strength. But air, it's very ethereal. If it's not expressed in earth, then what's the point? What's the point of love if there's no one to share it with? How about that? So hopefully you got you understand now. Now when I tell you, because look, I have quite a few subscribers now. Not very much. It's like 120. Okay. But I check my analytics. There's at least 19 people that watch my videos consistently. And thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. Like, I'm so proud and happy because I know you guys, at least 19 of you, will watch this. And now you'll know every time I talk about the Hebrew alphabet what I'm on about. When I'm like, guys, it's a magical language. It's real, the cosmos. You'll know what I mean. And at least in my little bubble of people, I know that I can talk to you guys because you understand. So thank you for listening and hanging out. I really enjoyed doing this and just going through because it's really fun. Some people like video games, some people like music, some people like football, and all those things, they get something out of it. And I get something out of studying and learning this stuff. So yeah, to each their own. Thanks for watching. Mwah. I'll see you in the next video. Like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I'll see you around in the next one. All right.